moments that prepared me for life. Something that a book, something that a school could never have taught me. Life taught me.
I wake up 5:30, thank God I'm still alive. Start seeing flashing lights, I guess it's time to shine. It's time to start my day. First thing I do is pray. He says to make a way, just know you'll be
your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Oh, yeah, man. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, six-time world champ, two-time Hall of Famer, man. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me as always, man. Get ready to do this thing coming to you from ESPN 975-925. Podcast Heat, all that, man. Look like you got a new gimmick, man. What's the new big gimmick?
Hey, you like this? You like this? My little Gilmore
Yeah,
media gimmick here.
I get it.
Hey, man.
The kid is coming up. The kid is coming up. I like it. I like it a lot. How you
Learning
feel,
from
bro?
you. I'm doing good, Book. I'm doing good. You know what, though? So I went for my annual physical today, right? This afternoon.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know why. Every time I get my blood taken, I get lightheaded and I feel like I'm going to faint. Is this happened to you?
No.
Why? And the thing is, I don't have a fear of needles. I don't mind getting shots. I know I got to give the blood.
Yeah.
No one likes giving it, but I give it.
Well, that pressure on, it does get pretty tight, right?
It gets tight, man.
It's real tight, and it may, and that right there, it might be it's a mental thing. It's just like certain things make my back tighten up, and it's nothing that has to do with anything other than my mind is feeling a certain way. Just like, say, for instance, I got to take get in the MRI machine. Automatically my back will start hurting just because I know the anxiety. Maybe that's it, the anxiety of the situation. Maybe it is. But you know what? My lovely missus brought me an apple here before the show started. You know what I mean? And now I feel like my blood sugar's back up. So I'm good. Maybe you just need somebody to hold your hand. You know what I mean? While you're getting it done. I'm serious, man. I'm serious. I remember I had to have a procedure back in WWE. I had to have my knee. I think I got some cortisone shot or something like that. And Christian said, "You want me to hold your hand, man?" I go, "Yeah, man." And then he held my hand while I got my, my shot. And then he heard about me having to have a procedure. And he texts me, "Hey, man, you want me to be there to hold your hand?" I'm like, "That's kind of like that." But no, man. But no, heck yeah, man. I know, like I said, anxiety. I think that's what it is.
Hey, maybe it is. But you know what? We had a great Super Bowl Sunday. But I think that we'd be remiss if we didn't send our thoughts and prayers out to everybody at Lakewood Church here in the Houston, Texas area. Those of you don't know, there was a gunman at the church, gunwoman, but a person opened fire and some people were injured, and it was scary. Scary to see.
I know it's crazy, the world that we're living in right now. Everything is, I didn't see this coming. I didn't see this coming as far as we being at war, not literally, overseas, dropping bombs. Even we are doing that. But to see people at war right here at home, the way it is right now over something that's happening, far, far away. So it is something, man. It's something. This is this world right now that we are living in, man. It's one of a kind.
Yeah, we definitely want to send our thoughts and prayers. I just shot a commercial with the people of Lakewood. They were all great folks, and got to know them on a personal level. So I definitely wanted to send shout outs to them directly. But as far as anybody who was there, it was during the Spanish service, I believe. Anybody who was there, thankfully, the person was detained, I guess for lack of a better term, before any more harm was done than already happened. And God bless them, and hopefully, nothing like this will ever occur again,
You
and
know, that's the
it's
sad,
weird.
that's the sad part, man. I mean, we say that so many times. We
I
say that
know,
all the time. We hope
I
this
know.
never happen again, but it's going to happen again. We got to literally on both sides be able to talk about this situation in order for this to stop or to curb this kind of stuff happening on a regular basis. Because I don't know how many times we've had an active shooter event this year, but I know it's been over 300 times.
Oh, that's yeah, yeah, that's way too much.
It's crazy, right?
That's way too much, Again, God bless, everybody, and whatever we gotta do, and you know what? Shout out to, the Houston, Texas Police Department, the Sheriff's Department, the FBI. They were all there working in conjunction with each other and as quickly as they possibly can. And what's scary, Book, is this is a place. So I pass by Lakewood Church every day.
I've been
I've
there.
attended
I've been there
I've,
several times. Yeah.
I've attended service at Lakewood, and never felt uncomfortable there, or any place. It's a place of worship.
That's not
So
what, you shouldn't feel uncomfortable in church.
no,
That seems like that would be the last place you would want to go and have to think about watch your back. What I mean? It just don't seem like those two go together. But
no.
these days, man, the mall, movie theater, church, no matter what synagogue, no matter where you go these days, it could be gunplay, and that's the sad world that we live in. And it seems like everybody's afraid to talk about it because I don't know. I know it's political. I know a lot of people make a lot of money off of it. But when seem like when you got kids,
Mhm.
that would be the first reaction is to think about, man, what do we got to do for our kids? Yeah, and that's what I think about. Which brings me to um, something very, very serious, something I must talk about. I know a lot of people may think, Booker T might shy away from certain situations, but I can't do it. I just can't shy away from situation. I always got to put myself right in the middle. And a story came out about reality of wrestling that was dropped by Fightful this weekend, and the story was about just that, as far as safety issues, being able to own up to situation. Um, I want to let everybody know at reality wrestling, allegations like in this story, we take very, very serious. Sharmell and I, we take these allegations very, very serious. I mean, 20 years we have been working with young people on a weekly basis, and my motto has always been safety first, in the ring, out of the ring. My students have always had a first line to me, as far as they can call me anytime and talk to me on a regular basis. And the story that came out, it was about an incident that happened in December of 2022. This is not an incident that just happened yesterday or anything. I don't want people to believe that it just happened yesterday. And sometimes I question like Fightful, why didn't this story come out a year and 3-4 months ago? I mean, why didn't it? Because it really wasn't a story I didn't believe, because I thought it was an incident that happened, an incident that the situation was handled, and we got past that situation. Let's go to the night in question. It was an incident that went down, and it was the first time I found out about it. The person that we are talking about in this story, Rachel Rose, which was a former student at Reality of Wrestling, had an issue with a prior student that was a part of Reality of Wrestling years prior. I think he vacated Reality of Wrestling back in 2020. And the thing is, there again, a situation I knew nothing about until this night. Now, I found out about it before the show. I thought I handled it. But after the show, Rachel Rose came to me and told me about the problem. not the situation, the problem. So when she told me about the problem with her, Rachel Rose and Sean Reed having an issue, I say, let's fix this problem. I knew Sean Reed was at the bar next door off Reality of Wrestling property. And I asked Rachel Rose, please, just don't go there. Go somewhere else till we can diffuse this situation so we can handle it. Because for me, this is an issue that I can't handle. This is an issue that the police needs to be involved with. I left after that conversation. I stress Rachel Rose, just go somewhere else. Just go to anywhere. So many other places you can go to. Just do that for me so we could defuse this situation. I left, went home. Next thing you know, I'm getting a phone call from the bar owner. I'm getting a phone call from the police. I'm getting a phone call from the boys to come back and figure out what happened. Rachel Rose chose to go to the bar. Now, what happened after that was totally out of my control. But I just want to stress, Sharmell and I, we take full responsibility for anything that happens under a Reality of Wrestling's roof. But anything that happens outside of Reality of Wrestling, that is totally out of our hands. And for this story to be written the way it was, I fired somebody over a stalking incident. That is not something that happened. And matter of fact, we can't fire anybody because we don't hire anybody. These are independent contractors. We can book them. We can not book them. That's normally the way it works in this wrestling world. But the way this thing is written, it was a hit job to drop over the weekend, so I can't say anything about it. But tonight, I'm talking about it. And if anybody want to ask me any questions about what happened that night, I'm willing to answer any and all questions, because I'm not running and I'm not hiding from anybody as far as my integrity goes, as far as Reality of Wrestling and what I've built for the last 20 years working with so many young women. My young women, when they leave Reality of Wrestling, if they ever make it to the big time or make it to that next level, I make sure I tell them, if anybody treats you differently than I treated you, you call me, because I know it's not the right way to be treated. I treat all of my females at my facility like they're my daughter. I hold that with the utmost respect as far as anyone that come into my school. So I just want people to know about me in this story, in this situation. I know we got to take a break. You got any questions? Put the black mask on, man. Interrogation mode. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
My name is Nathan Wasser, and I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. I came down here to Reality of Wrestling to improve my training and get myself more experience learning from the absolute best. It's intense. It's hard. You got to leave your ego at the door and come in with an open mind. The way they do stuff here is the next level. But if you do that, you'll end up bettering yourself in the end, and you'll improve, and you'll be able to work anywhere.
Nathan, he's an unbelievably awesome student. I'll tell you why, right? For a few reasons. Number one, the man packed up all the way from the Great White North to move down here to the U.S. to train, because he wanted to learn from one of the best. But what's even more impressive, on top of the fact that he takes care of his body, he works hard, is the fact that he was trained by a very reputable trainer, and yet still comes down here humble, hungry, ready to work and ready to learn, and not coming in here acting like he knows everything or that he's too rigid in his ways.
Booker's knowledge will help you get to whatever goals you want to do if you want to be a big star in this industry. My end goal is to be in WWE. Coming down here to Reality of Wrestling, I feel is the best opportunity for me to get there, so I'm going to do whatever it takes. I can promise you, when you come to Reality of Wrestling, it will change your life. You will not regret it.
Can you dig it, sucker?
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Oh yeah, welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ. We doing it big. Answering all questions. Brad, I know we probably got some super chatters. What we got?
We got a lot of super chatters right now. I don't see any pertaining to the incident in question. We can go take these chatters, or I mean, did you have anything else
No,
you
no,
wanted
no,
to?
no, 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 no. I mean, you got anything?
Well,
Anything you want to offer?
I do, because again, a full disclosure. Obviously, Booker and I have a personal relationship. Kevin Bernhardt, who's mentioned in the article, and I have a personal relationship. Everybody mentioned in the article, I know. I've been at reality wrestling for 12 years, so I definitely want to make sure I put that disclosure out there. But I want to try to maintain some impartiality in reading through the article of what perhaps there might need to be some more clarity upon. So I wanted to ask first and foremost. When as far as the situation that arose, and the aftermath of it, now as far as safety goes, um, the article says that there, were promises that there was gonna be additional safety and security at the shows moving forward, but it was alleged that those never occurred. Were there more safety precautions taken after the events of the night in December?
Yeah, not just for her safety, but for everybody in the building. I mean, my family has to work in day-to-day operations as well. We got students in and out of the gym on a daily basis, and after that incident, we had armed security, as well as we added cameras to the facility as well.
Now it was also said that Reality Wrestling was going to put out a trespass warning, or of some kind, or a trespass, however you say it, issue a trespass, no trespassing
Yeah, yeah,
decree.
yeah.
And it says that that wasn't the case. That you said you were going to do that, but it was never done.
We did that as well. It's on paper. It's in black and white. I think we got it. We can show it right here.
Yeah, I mean, if you have that, we can definitely put it to the screen if that's something that you have. So you're saying that the mall where the facility used to be located in, the Reality Wrestling facility, and the police department were notified to not allow, the trainee in question, Mr. Reed, to be on premises?
Well, you got to understand. This goes back to 2020.
Mhm.
Okay, this goes back to 2020. Sean Reed was asked to leave Reality Wrestling's property, and back in 2020. So this goes back for quite some time, as far as him being not a part of Reality of Wrestling. That's why I feel like this was a police issue more so than it was a Reality of Wrestling issue, um, as far as everything went. But yes, the mall had a report for this kid not to show up. I don't know how long. I know you can't get something like that indefinitely. But as far as a temporarily restraining order, as far as this kid not being on the property, yes.
Okay, so that was done. As far as the communication, I mean, it was said that uh, these allegations were brought to Reality Wrestling's attention, not yours specifically, initially. Uh, do you feel like that was a lack of communication in Reality of Wrestling? And how do you respond to that chain of events, not being made aware of the situation earlier than you were?
Look, I'm not going to sit and say, something didn't happen. Someone didn't feel like they, was being, just say, for instance, made feel a certain way. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to question that. That's why I say I can't say Rachel Rose didn't actually feel the way she did. But as far as being able to communicate to someone, I thought Rachel Rose and my wife had a connection. I thought Rachel Rose and my wife talked on a regular basis. I mean, my wife is at the school more than I am, and Rachel could have easily called me and said something to me about it if it was something going on. Now, I'm not dismissing, Kevin Bernhardt or anybody from not telling me there's an issue going on, but I do know Kevin Bernhardt released Sean Reed from Reality Wrestling in 2020. So it was out of our hands as far as that went. It was a police matter. It didn't have anything to do with Reality of Wrestling.
Now, some people are questioning your decision to bring Mr. Reed in the building that evening. Do you feel that that was a mistake? And do you feel like you put anyone in danger because you brought him into the building?
As far as Sean Reed goes, I didn't know anything about any of this with Sean Reed and Rachel Rose until that night. And the person that told me about it was Sean Reed. I was walking out of the front of the building. It was right before the show started. And he walked up to me, and I hadn't seen this kid in 2 years. And he said, the incident that happened with him and Rachel Rose, he said he didn't want to date her. He just wanted to be a part of reality of wrestling, something that he had a passion for the last 4 years. And he lost that after he left the school. And he said, is it possible for me to please go, watch the show? And this kid telling me he's been going through ups and downs since he left the school. He's been depressed. So my thing is, I want to help this kid as well. I'm not going to throw this kid under the bus. I'm not going to just throw him out. So I said, let me bring this kid in because I need to keep this kid close to me. I gave him a nice big hug just to, get a feel of him. And I brought him in and I let him watch the show. And he watched the show and he left that show peacefully. Nothing happened within that 2.5 hours of him watching that show, but everyone having a good time. That was it.
I mean, did Mr. Reed, there are people saying that he had a weapon on him the evening in question.
Well, that's not true. That's not true. I mean, the place he sat, I made sure he was watched by an armed guard and actually 6 other people. I made sure that because I got instinct. All right. I could have easily let Sean Reed leave the building that night. And he really left in a depressed state and something really happened that night. But nothing happens at Reality of Wrestling. Nothing other than us having a great show.
So 2 follow-ups to that. So you say Mr. Reed made you aware of the situation. Yes. Did he say, when you say that, do you mean he said that he made you aware of that he had been stalking Miss Rose?
No, not stalking. He made it aware that that he did not want to date her. He said, I don't want to date her. I just want to be a part of Reality of Wrestling. This is something that I've missed for the last 4 years. That's what my concern was. My concern was a depressed kid. I didn't know about her issue. Maybe if I would have been aware of her issue, I would have taken just as much consideration. But I do know I have a kid in front of me that's going through something, and I know I have to make a rash decision right now. And he hasn't done anything, so I can't call the police on him. And get him, and do something. So I have to do something myself. And I made a decision. And I think the decision that I made was right because nothing happened at Reality of Wrestling. Nothing.
So that's what I was going to ask. So you're saying that he came to the show and left without incident at the Reality Wrestling show?
There hasn't been an incident at Reality of Wrestling in 20 years. We've never had to call the police in 20 years for any incident at Reality of Wrestling after, during, or before a show. This is the only one. This is the only incident. In 20 years, this is the only incident that happened December 2022. This is not something that just happened yesterday. I wish this story would have came out in December 2022 because it would be a whole lot more accurate facts. It will be a whole lot more people can vouch. It will be more people that's not just witnesses. That's what we need. So it should have happened back then.
So for clarity, you're saying after the show was over, Reed went to the next door bar or a bar close to, I guess next door would be proper way to describe it. And you ran into Rachel outside of the venue or outside of the bar or where did you?
Outside of the Reality Wrestling front door. Rachel Rose came up to me and told me, Sean Reed was here and he shouldn't be here. And I told her, you can't tell Sean Reed to leave the bar because the bar owner would have to do that. The bar owner would have to have a restraining order. I say, so just go somewhere else, please, for tonight, because we need to defuse this situation because something could really happen if this kid really is as deranged and as crazy as she's making it out to be. So I need her to go home, just like I would tell one of my kids, go home tonight. And she chose to go there. Her and a couple other people, they chose to go there. They chose. And the thing is, all of this is on video. All this is on video. I don't have to I'm not making up any stories here. And I don't want anybody to think that I'm trying to throw anybody under the bus here or anything either. Rachel Rose was one of my students for a long time. You know, my wife helped her in so many different occasions. I've helped her in so many. This is what we do. We help young people. We're not here to try to hurt them. If you can make it to the next level, coming out of reality wrestling, we're going to push you to the next level. If you're good enough to make it at reality wrestling, you might stick around. If you're not good enough to make it at reality wrestling, you might want to go down, and work somewhere else. But at reality wrestling, we are looking for the best. And Rachel Rose was definitely a prime student. So I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus. We got to stick around. We got to take a break, guys. Stick around. Oh yeah, stick around. We'll be back in a minute.
Every time I come here, I just have so much fun. I go home and we just can't stop talking about it till we come back.
The whole roster, top to bottom, star-studded guys.
We drove 12 hours from Atlanta. This comes to one missile for the world. It's one of the premier independent wrestling promotions across America.
It's a well-oiled machine, and there's a lot of good talent, which is very rare on in these shows to see so much talent on one show.
The organization that he has right now, I think and truly believe that it's one of the best organizations out there.
Brian Keith is 15 feet in the air! Brian Keith from up top!
A lot of fun, a lot of good athletes, good wrestlers, good family fun.
I've been around with a lot of the other independent groups, but this to me is a very, very top and first-class operation.
Reality of wrestling, one word, heart. And that's what Booker T is bringing to Houston. It's already special.
He's created opportunity, and he's creating great talent, as you guys well know.
Can't make it happen without these young people, without the fans coming out and supporting this thing. This is the flagship of Texas wrestling. This is the beginning of something big. It ain't gonna stop.
It's the best damn promotion in the country right now. The best independent promotion in the country. The best talent, the best coach and teacher that there ever was. And this is where it's at right here in the reality of wrestling. Believe that.
Oh my goodness! A Davidson driver!
It's very professional. It's a very good production. Booker's doing it right. I really enjoyed being a part of it.
Oh, what a rush!
The future of wrestling is reality of wrestling. That's the reality of the situation.
I'm Roddy Piper, and you're watching Reality of Wrestling. Be there, be square, babe.
Can you dig it, sucker?
You're listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Boom! Welcome back to reality. I'm sorry. Welcome back inside. I'm looking at a story I just read here. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Hey guys, I just want to let everybody know about the Reality Wrestling March 9th. The Reality Wrestling Last Stand Rumble is going down. And I'm giddy about it because I'm so happy we got Maven, my main man. Maven is going to be inside the Last Stand Rumble. And I'm so excited. And so many people going to be in the Rumble. We got 30 men enter, 1 man will leave. But we got so many bells and whistles, so many surprises. I looked at the ticket seating list, and I'm gonna tell you right now, dog, we almost sold out. We're gonna have to put out more seats. It might be standing room only. March night. Don't miss out. Don't get. Look here, and I got some more great news coming up for you, probably in the next couple of days. You know what? We might put that out in a press release because it's big. It's big news. It's big news coming from Reality Wrestling.
Yeah, would definitely love The Last Stand. Always my favorite show of the year. Because I was there. I was in it last year. I didn't do well, but there's always.
You did good. You did pretty good.
Thank you. I didn't win though.
No, you didn't win. It wasn't supposed to be that way.
I thought I had a chance. I had a chance. I know we've been talking about these questions. Or this incident, the Fightful article that came out. I think there's just a couple more things I think to address in it. But I just wanted to try to get more to the bottom of it. During the break, I was given the notice, I guess, that the mall of the mainland city center, which is where the Reality Wrestling Institute used to be and is still connected to, just in a separate part of the mall now. I was given this, and I can share this here on the screen momentarily, but it is a criminal trespass warning that was issued by the Mainland City Center at 10,000 Emmett F. Lowry Expressway, Texas City, Texas, in accordance with Section 30.05 of the Texas Penal Code. That the mall itself, and in conjunction with, I'm assuming, the police department here, gave verbal and written notice to Mr. Sean Reed that he is required to leave the property known as the Mainland City Center immediately and not return. The person has been advised and warned that if he returns to the property known as Mainland City Center, including any of its associate stores, which includes obviously Reality of Wrestling, structures or parking areas, the violator will face arrest and be charged with the crime of criminal trespass as defined below. And here it says that this was reviewed on the 18th of December, 2022. There is a police report number given, and it says length of property ban is lifetime ban.
Okay.
A lifetime ban.
Yeah.
This was just presented to me.
Yeah. Like I said, my thing is, I just wish I would have known about it a lot sooner. If I would have known about it, I would have done something about it a lot sooner. And for me to, be getting, a lot of stray bullets for something that I didn't know about, but something I did try to rectify. But a story being written saying that I fired somebody because of a stalker, which is a lie. That's just clickbait. That's not true. That's not true. As far as stuff that happens in under the Reality of Wrestling banner, a lot of stuff happen. A lot of people get booked. Sometimes people don't get booked, but it's not ever going to be for a victim being stalked by someone, because that just makes no sense. And for someone to write that is totally irresponsible. And they need to watch themselves. They really need to watch themselves when they write something like that, because this is something that could be harmful to me and my company, and something that my wife and I have built for the last 20 years. Like I say, we take safety, we take our wrestlers, male and females, safety and situations, not just the safety, like I said, in the ring. I don't care if they're going through something at home. You know what I mean? They could call us and talk to us about it, and we've had many of them to do that. So that's what really makes me feel a certain way about this more than anything. I just feel like there again, Reality of Wrestling, we're there to help every young person that come through that door. Any question you got, I'm willing to answer it, because I don't have anything to hide. Because I really think the truth is on my side.
So, are you saying the Reality of Wrestling, yourself, Sharmell, and anybody other who would be considered management, has created an open channel of communication to communicate any issues that they may be having with another student or anything of that nature?
I think, yeah, of course, yes. Question, just to answer the question, yes. I think any of our females could call my wife directly. I would prefer they call my wife directly, opposed to call me. Just because my wife is a female, she's been in the business. She works at the building just as much or more than I do. She's around the females more than I am. She goes in the females' locker room. I've never once gone in the female locker room, so I think it's a little bit easier for her to communicate. But any one of my students, just like Rachel Rose, she's called me on the phone before. She's been able to communicate with me before, and just like this incident, she could have easily called me anytime before this night in question and told me something about it. And I think perhaps that night perhaps would have been handled differently, but it wasn't. That's here nor there. We got to think about what actually happened on that night, and what decisions I made, and decisions that I was making was to make and keep everybody safe that night, and everybody go home safe. Nobody get in trouble that night. That was my main objective.
And yeah, I mean, obviously there was an incident that took place afterward that's detailed in the article that led to arrests and things of that nature. I mean, obviously it's an unfortunate thing all the way around. And but you're saying that not only do you and Sharmell have an open line of communication, are you saying that she was not let go or not asked to return due to stalking? Is that the reason that she was asked not to return, due to the stalking allegations?
After this incident happened, when I specifically asked Rachel Rose vehemently please do not go over there. Go somewhere else tonight so we can defuse this. And she literally did the opposite of what I asked her to do. Of course, that made me feel a certain way, okay? Just because I felt like after this incident happened and I walked back into that chaos, I was just so fortunate that it was as little damage as done as it was. We're talking about this shooter at Lakewood. This could have been one of those situations. If this kid was really that kid that we're talking about, that we're trying to make this thing out to be. I was trying to avoid that kind of a situation. And yes, she did go right into that fire, and something like that could have happened. Thank God it didn't. After that, a phone call happened between Rachel and I, and I would think it was an amicable decision as far as us not working together anymore, because obviously she didn't understand me and I didn't understand her. Maybe it was just something we could have taken a break, but no one ever said to Rachel Rose, "You're fired." That's not a word that we use at Reality of Wrestling. You're fired, because we don't hire people. But Rachel Rose definitely that night, if she just would have did what I asked, and she says it. She says, I remember it vehemently, adamantly. I think it was something like that. Rachel says, I remember him saying, go somewhere else. But she said, we have a tradition to go to the bar. Okay, if we got a tradition to go to the bar, we got a problem, because I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to save your life tonight. And that was disregarded. And that's why I'm talking about this, because I just want to defend myself as far as these allegations, because these are very serious allegations. These are serious allegations that could take someone down, and next thing you know, they're on the news, and people are talking about them like they're the worst person in the world. 20 years. The first incident that we've ever had at Reality of Wrestling. 20 years. This is the first incident. I own everything that has ever happened at Reality of Wrestling. Every guy that's gotten hurt at Reality of Wrestling. I don't care if they had to have surgery. I paid for it. I don't care if they had a broken nose. I paid for it. I don't care if they had to have stitches. I paid for it. Me, personally, out of my pocket. This is undeniable. And when I hear people talking about safety in Reality of Wrestling and the way we treat people, everybody that's come through our door has gotten treated with respect. Whether everybody made it at Reality of Wrestling, that's another story. Sometimes you go to college and you don't make it. You might go to another college, you might not make it there. You might not realize college may not be for you. Maybe that's it. But it's not anything personal or anything like that. And I don't want anyone to be writing anything about Reality of Wrestling from a fabrication perspective. I don't care if you're telling the truth. Tell the truth. I don't care if you're talking about me and you're telling the truth. Tell the truth. I don't care. I'm not going to say anything about it. If you're telling the truth, I'm not going to say anything. But when you're just saying stuff like this, I got to say something. I got to come back at you, because that's who I am. I'm the 6th. Hey, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a bit.
You dig it, sucker?
You are listening to the Hall of Fame. Here's Booker T and Brad Gilmore.
Out. When you come to the WWA, this is what you're going to have to face right here. It's the GI Bro.
Well, let me tell you something, Steve, baby. I've been noticing all these big guys like the Super Colada, the Warrior, this Thor. Well, let me... First things first, man. I got a new haircut. Would you like to see it, man?
Yeah, I want to see. All right.
GI Bro. GI Bro is my name. And beating people up is my game. Look in my eyes. Everybody in the WWA, I just want you to know one thing. The GI Bro is ready, willing, and able to take on all comers in the WWA. That means everybody. Thor, Cherokee Warrior, Super Colada mainly, because I seen what you did. You came out, you tore the sign up, you ripped it out of my little private's hand, and you stripped it in two, man. That's something you don't do. You don't mess with my little privates, man. It's a war. Let me tell you, when I get you in the square circle, when I get you in the combat zone, when I get you in the ganking zone, that's when I'm going to declare World War III on you and take you clean out on the team, man. Ah!
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ. Like I say, man, this thing for me is it's not personal, but I do take it personal as far as like I said, reality wrestling, what we've tried to build as far as students we've tried to create. I'm talking about students that we've tried to change their lives. Because I always say, for me, I was that kid. I was that kid once upon a time, and all I needed was a pat on the back. I got so many kids that have come through reality wrestling that have just needed that pat on the back, like a Promise Braxton, who's over in Japan. Can't wait for her to get back right now. I remember Promise just back there on the back, and I look at how far she's going come right now and how far she's going to go. And it's so many more that have gotten that talk from me as far as, it's never been about me. It's always going to be about them. And that's what we've created at Reality of Wrestling. That's why I'm so passionate here tonight, speaking about reality of wrestling and what me and my wife have built. And people say, I was looking at one of the comments say, why you laugh in a serious situation? Sometimes that's the only thing you can do is laugh. Sometimes that's the only thing you can do when people are trying to bring you down and people trying to pull you down. When I was just at our show just last Saturday night, how many guys we had in there at the end of the night? We was talking maybe 30 guys, maybe 30 plus.
Something like that.
30 plus guys are Army guys, man. I'm thinking the lives that they can have through this business if they make it to that next level. And then you hear people want to try to pull you down just because you are trying to create something. That right there for me is that's as serious as it truly can be. This is not about any one person or anything like that. It's not about me. It's not about Rachel Rose. It's about this situation. This situation could have been handled a whole lot differently if I had known the situation before that night. And that's pretty much the basic, raw truth to the matter.
It's definitely an unfortunate situation. And, I will say again, I want to try to maintain as much impartiality as possible throughout talking about this. So that, if there are reasons to be held accountable, I wanted to address them, those things that were mentioned in the article. As far as I guess this would be the final thing that I'd want to know. Do you, in reality of wrestling, Sharmell included, when somebody does, I don't know if this has happened before. Now, I know people might not believe that, but you and I, we don't talk about things that happen at the school very often, especially people's private business. You're very good about keeping private things private when they should be, when people come to you. So I don't know the answer to this question. But if somebody ever comes to you or Sharmell with an allegation or with something that, hey, we felt uncomfortable, they feel as though they've been victimized in some sort of way, do you all side with that person? Do you take them at their word and handle the situation accordingly? I'm only asking because it seems through comments that I've seen on this article that it looks like
I can
you're
say
not
this.
believing a victim.
I can say this. This is the first and only time we've ever had a situation like this. And I think if someone would have came to myself or my wife with a stalking allegation, the first thing we would have said was we need to get the police involved because that's not something that we can handle ourselves. That's not an internal problem. That's something, that we can actually handle ourselves. If it's a thread, a text thread, if it's some evidence or something that we could take to the police, only thing we could do was remove this kid from the school, which we did in 2020. That's the only thing that we could do. Now we don't know anything else about it. Now. Like I say, if she would have anyone come to us with something like that, I think we would handle it immediately. But there again, in 20 years, we've never had a situation like this.
Yeah, look, and again,
That may not make sense.
No. I mean,
but that's the only way I can answer that question.
you're saying you would have support if you were told directly or your wife were told, Miss Charmel, about any kind of incident, this one or any other ones, you would have cooperated and supported the person and helped them in any way you could?
We would have taken that person right to the Texas City Police Department, which I have a lot of friends that work there. A lot of those friends come to the show. A lot of them hang out. So it wouldn't have been a problem to get the police involved very, very quickly, just like it was done with that report that you just came up with. That's the way it would have been handled. That was handled on that night. And if an allegation would have came to us, it would have been handled on that night, and it would have been a police report. It would have been a police report. I'm not talking about anything that's not facts. Everything I'm saying is facts. So like you said, you got a police report there. Do the other side have a police report? That's what I'm saying. These are just allegations. People are looking at me like I've done something, and the only thing I've done is try to help people for the last 20 years. And there again, Rachel Rose was one of them.
Yeah, I mean, I know there are more details in the Fightful article about I believe there were attempts to make a police report with the Friendswood Police Department, but they, I think, denied the ability to assist in some sort of way. You know, again, I'm not as familiar with that part. I'm just asking based on the allegations made against yourself in Reality of Wrestling. You know, would you have changed anything about how you conducted yourself that evening?
You know, even if I was clairvoyant, I don't think it would have been anything I could have done to change that situation, other than try to make sure everybody went home safe that night. And I think if everybody would have just listened to me, and it's documented what I said to Rachel Rose, she said it herself. I asked her, please don't go over there and confront a person that's perhaps a stalker, that's perhaps maybe having mental problems. Don't do that, because something can happen and somebody could get hurt. And I don't need anybody getting hurt. Just go somewhere else that night till we could defuse this situation and we could get the police involved. Because to that point, to my knowledge, the police hadn't been involved.
Okay. Well, I mean, again, I think if anybody has any other questions on it, they can super chat it in. And then we'll get to it. I know we have Booker. We do have a lot of super chats to get to. I do say, you know, it's an unfortunate situation that unfolded.
It's very.
You know, and I'm glad that nobody, you know, I mean, I don't even know. I know in my time of reality wrestling, you know, nothing like that had ever happened before. This is the first time I had seen it, you know, in the 12 years. Now, again, I don't know anything about really what goes on at the school and behind closed doors. You know, when people come to yourself, Booker, because I know you keep things private when people have private conversations with you. But again, I had never seen anything like this happen, and it was unfortunate on all accounts. And you know, especially if anybody ever has an issue, you know, yeah, I know Book in the very few times I've had them, I've, you know, gone to you, you know, if I have an issue, but I know that we have that relationship, and you cultivated that with me, not the other way around.
Yeah.
I can only speak from what I know, you know, and again, I wanted to try to maintain impartiality here and just ask you about the facts of the matter. But yeah, so if anybody has anything more, go ahead and super chat them in, and we can address them during the stream. Now, there are other things that happened in the world of wrestling over the weekend, Book, of course.
What
I
happened?
think,
What happened? That's the only thing I could think about.
no. Of course, and you know the other thing too. You know, uh, anybody who's a victim of any kind of thing, stalking or you know, any of that. I would like to think that, you know, reality wrestling is a brand that I've been associated with for a long time, where that would be something that people listen to and we take seriously, you know. I'd never, you know, heard of the incident either prior to that night, right? Now I'm not upper management at a school, you know. I'm the guy with the hair who sits at the desk and calls the matches. But in all seriousness, you know, I was never made privy to it. Neither should I have been. But I do think that you know, is unfortunate all the way around. just all the way around, and things could have been done better. But BT, what I want to talk about. What do you think about? And not to make a rough transition again, because
we ain't got but a minute before we got to take a break.
We have a minute for it to take a break.
Yeah.
Well, then I want to let me set it up. Let me set it up. I'm gonna slow it down to set it up, because the last time we were live, there was a press conference going on, or a press event going on, involving WrestleMania. WrestleMania is big, man.
Yeah, man.
WrestleMania is huge, the biggest show of the year, and the biggest star in the world, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, was there. Roman Reigns was there. Seth Rollins was there. Cody Rhodes was there. And here's a tease for the listeners. Somebody got slapped. And I want to know what you think about it. So I know we got to take, a break here.
Yeah, we got to take a break. We got about 10-9. Yeah, we got to take a break, guys. So stick around. You are inside the Hall of Fame. We will be back in a momento. Oh.
In order to kick some ass, you got to bring some. I wasn't born the chosen one. I became the chosen one. Through hard work, determination, and winning.
The chosen one, victorious.
You're gonna be a big star. You already are.
I'm stronger, and I'm faster than anyone they've ever put me in the ring with. Being the chosen one isn't just a nickname, it's a gift. And professional wrestling is my gift. That is an absolute guaranteed. What's my name again?
Boom. Can't wait, man. Can't wait. You are inside the Hall of Fame. What are you talking about, man? I know you want to talk about that.
I want to know about look, there's a lot of stuff. I want to know what you think about two things specifically that happened in the last, 4 days. I want to know what you think about The Rock slapping the taste out of Cody's mouth. And I want to know what you think about Travis Kelce yelling at Andy Reid on the sidelines. These are the things that I want to know about.
I don't know what the hell. He had that Taylor Swift at him. That's what it was. You better get the game. Taylor up there watching. I got to score a touchdown. I got to get something going on here, man. Taylor going to be hot. That's what that was, man.
I got to get something going, man.
I'm serious, man. This woman, man, don't you know, man? I'm just the Swiftie. Or one of the Swifties. I think that's what that was. But the Rock, Cody thing, man, that was it's blood thicker than water. I was talking to you about that. I say blood thicker than water. That's the angle that it just works. There's nothing you need to do to fix it. Everybody was talking about it. Everybody was upset about it. Now they got what they want, and it went viral. It went viral. You know what I mean? The Rock playing that heel mode for a second. So I loved it, man. I loved it. It was wrestling.
Yeah, man.
Straight out of the playbook.
And now it seems as though The Rock's embracing this, we'll call it bad guy side of himself,
Rock, like, he the OG. He'll let Roman feel like he's at the head of the table, but he's going to navigate this whole situation. You know what I mean? Everything's going to go. So I like it. I like the dynamic of it.
Yeah, I know. And the thing is, did you see the WrestleMania trailer? Did you see the trailer they put out?
No, I didn't.
Oh man, you didn't see the I gotta see if I can pull it up. This might be the best thing WWE's produced in a long time. I'm actually not even playing. I saw this thing I think they dropped it during the Super Bowl on Twitter or on X. On X. And this trailer, man, if I can find this, you're gonna agree. I feel like you're gonna agree with me. Let's see. Here we go. This is the teaser trailer. Yeah, for WrestleMania. I'm about to pull it up here now because this Triple H released this and it got great reactions from people online. Here we go. This is the WrestleMania teaser trailer. Look at this thing. Already gives you that feeling.
I choose you, Roman Reigns. We're going to take it to a whole new level. We run it all.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Tell me that's not awesome.
Hey, man.
What a trailer.
I like it. I like it. Yeah.
What a trailer. So to me, it looks like they're going to go into a tag match. That's what that made me feel like. We're going to have Seth and Cody on maybe night 1 take on Rock and Roman in a tag. That's what, look, I know you don't like booking the show.
Hey,
that's just what I saw.
I'm not going to book it.
That's just what I saw.
That's what you saw. I get it. Yeah, yeah.
That's what I felt when I watched
that's
it.
what you felt. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get it. I get it. I get
Look. You don't got to get hot about it. That's what I said. So I loved it. And I loved, I will say, like, I went back and watched kickoff event and like some of it seemed like, oh, we're just building up. Well, it's kind of like a wrestling show. We're building up for the main event and we were just waiting to see The Rock and Roman and Rock really embracing the boos from the people, because I don't know the last time The Rock was a real heel. When you beat The Rock in that battle royal, do you remember going into WrestleMania? You beat him on Raw in a battle royal. He was kind of heelish then, but the people still kind of liked him, right? Yeah, even though he was playing the bad guy, he was entertaining.
Yeah, but they wanted to see me win that night. Yeah,
they definitely wanted to see you win that night. Yeah, absolutely.
It was a big moment for me.
It was a huge moment, and I think that The Rock going in as a heel. I mean, look, who does that help? I don't know, everybody.
Oh, I mean, like I say, that's why when this thing dropped, what did I say? I said I'm gonna step back. It was step back and see how this plays out. I'm not gonna, see because normally they'll fix it. Normally we'll get to where we need to be at. That's the way it's been lately, as far as all the pay-per-views go. Everything's been like knocked out of the park. So I'm not gonna sit here. It's almost like the Chiefs winning, man. Until they lose, I'm not gonna go against them.
Yeah, how can you?
Yeah, so as long as we winning, man, I'm gonna just see what we keep writing.
Now, 2 follow-ups to that, though. So going back to the slap, 2 things about it. 1, like, how would you react if The Rock smacked you upside the face? And 2, do you agree with CM Punk, who said right after the fact when he was on the broadcast, someone needs to get punched in the face. People need to get punched in the face more. I think I'm paraphrasing, but that was his general reaction. Do you agree that Cody should have punched him in the face? What would you have done?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I would have had security hold me back, and build that thing to that night. Cody get a shot in, it already kind of like tips the hand. Let's be the underdog if we're going to be the underdog. Let's be the guy getting picked on if he's going to be getting picked on. Why fight back if you're getting picked on? If you are getting picked on by 3 guys, what are you going to do? How are you going to fight them back? You're going to take it. That's what's going to happen. So I don't know. We could have done it several different ways.
Yeah. I dug it. Like, I dug The Rock smacking him upside.
Me personally, I liked it. I would have prescribed that same thing. I don't know. But like I say, I'm not a tit for tat type of guy. I'm trying to build a story here.
Yeah. And you know what? It's a slow burn, baby. That's what you got to do. You got to do the slow burn. Now, we have a bunch of super chats to get to. The other thing I wanted to your reaction to real quick is OKADA. It sounds like OKADA is going to AEW. That means within like a couple of months, AEW is going to have Sting's retirement match, a debut of OKADA, Will Ospreay, and Mercedes Moné. I think things are looking real good for All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah. I mean, I know Japanese. Look, you and I have a similar feeling kind of on the Japanese style of wrestling. It's not something that really attracts me too much. However, I know the name value OKADA has, especially with the audience that AEW has.
Yeah.
Right. And then I know Will Ospreay. We've had him, or you interviewed him before on a different show.
Bad
dude. Mercedes Moné, star power, one of the best in the game. And then you have, of course, I know Sting is on his way out, but there's a lot of hype around him being on his way out. I think this is a great time for AEW. I really do.
Look, man, I'm not hating on AEW or anything that they're doing. I'm not going to be. I don't want to be a part of that news for the week. No, Okada's a great grab. I'm just I'm looking to see more story and more entertainment from AEW before I can really get tapped in. I like the thing that the things that the Young Bucks doing right now. Wearing the suits, the hats, and beating people up. Creating this thing with Sting and Darby Allin. That's a story we could kind of like grab. Am I right?
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
I mean, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You got guys like Will Ospreay and Okada. You got Monet coming in. Let's see what we do with them, man. Let's see if we can put them in something and really create some good story. That's what I want to see out of all these guys coming in.
Well, now let's get to our super chats. We do have a bunch of them, and we have a little bit of show left. Jack Frost hit it up here and asked, are you guys, that's the wrong super chat button. Are you guys able to speak on Rachel Rose? I think we did that at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, we did that.
So the next one here is Richard Jr. Zoe Stark is favored to qualify for the WWE Elimination Chamber 2024 match, and Zoe Stark should use Daniel Bryan and Eve Torres as her inspiration. What happened with Daniel Bryan and Eve Torres in the Elimination Chamber? I don't remember.
I don't know, man.
I haven't thought about what's so crazy is 2012 to 14 WWE. There were so many people who were there. I forget about Eve. Eve was great.
Yeah, she was good, but you definitely,
she could have been. I feel like, look, it's up to her, right? But I feel like she could have been there longer because she started really getting.
But the thing is, she never really did anything.
What do you mean?
I mean, she was always on something, but she never really did any real wrestling.
Sure, I think wasn't she the champ?
Wait a minute, Eve Torres. Oh, Eve Torres.
I think you're thinking about the wrong person.
I'm thinking about the redhead girl. What was her name?
The redheaded girl.
Yeah, the girl with the red hair.
I don't remember.
You know who?
Not Eve Torres. Yeah, Eve wrestled. You remember Eve Torres?
Oh, I think I remember her now. Yeah.
Yeah. Eve Torres was there.
Yeah, I wasn't. That wasn't. I was working. Okay?
You were working, man.
Okay.
Eve was good though.
No, that's my excuse on that right there. I was working.
Man. Oh, you're thinking Eva Torres. Eva
Marie.
Eva Marie.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Eva Marie.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking about. Yeah.
Eva Marie was dope too. I mean, yeah.
That's
from a character perspective. This comes from DJ 1491. You agree with Seth's view on UFC guys going to WWE? I didn't hear what he said. Did you hear what he said?
Take a quick break. Pull it up. Find it. We'll answer the question on the rebound. Stick around. You will be back in a minute.
Okay.
Let me tell you something, Cowboys. Trick Williams has never been outnumbered. Look at me. I'm 6'4", 235. Got 8 ass, 3 chains, 2 women, and 2 beating King Club down the ring. You Cowboys better do the math.
Those stats do not lie.
205 pounds on WWE. I don't believe it. And you, dressed in your leather, and your bedazzles, and your white shoes.
You do not.
And all the way.
Oh, here we go. He said it earlier. Texas size ass whooping. And it's now Trick Williams with that pop-up uppercut. Yee-haw, Rhinestone Cowboy. Here we go. Trick kick connects to JP Harlow. Thank you kindly, Trick Williams. Woohoo! Trick Williams making quick work of JP Harlow and Joey Hyder. As he's right, we still got our main event going on. Coming up next.
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Boom! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Super chatters, man. Super chats coming
Here,
in. Let's
man.
finish.
So this is what Seth said about the UFC. He said, there's the headline, and let me see if I can get into the article, but it says, Seth Rollins says Ronda Rousey struggled with WWE schedule, as would all UFC fighters. They don't have the stamina for it. That's what it says in the article. Let me find another quote. I don't want to knock Ronda Rousey because I love Ronda. She did a lot for our industry, for women in our industry, and the fight industry in general, but it was tough for Ronda. She tried her damnedest, but it was hard for her. I'd love for somebody to come over and take a crack if you think you can hang, blah, 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 blah. They don't have the stamina for it. They don't fight every single weekend. This championship goes everywhere. It goes everywhere. It goes to Biloxi, Mississippi, and especially the top stars over there. They're catered to in a certain way, and that's great. That's their style. That's what works for them. You fight maybe once, twice a year. You're crazy fighting 3 times a year. But you fight over 100 times a year, make all those towns, still able to train, still able to do all the media. It's an exhausting industry. I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, what he's saying about wrestling.
Come on. Seth is working, man. Seth is doing his job. Okay. I think the UFC fighter is going to pretty much say, the same thing, perhaps in a different way. But I think the UFC fighter is going to say the same thing in a different way. Because can we go and do what the UFC guys do? No, we can't. No way we can go over there and do what those guys do. There's very few people in the world that has dedicated them lives to doing nothing but going out there and fighting inside a cage with other men. So that is, the elite guys that do that. The professional wrestler is an elite specimen as well, because it's more of a mental grind. Just like Seth said, to do those small towns. And then to, get on a flight to go do TV, and then to get on another flight to go overseas to do a whole tour to get back, to be ready for Monday Night Raw all over again. It's the most grueling, the most grinding thing that you're ever going to do in your life. And you have to be a certain type of individual to be able to do that. And I can imagine Ronda Rousey, after going through the life that she had led, being an Olympic judoist since she was a kid, training since she was a kid, going to the Olympics, just that alone, training for that, then coming out and going to the UFC, having that lifestyle, and then trying to be a professional wrestler. Good God, man. It's the hardest thing in the world for a guy that's coming out of high school, that's 20 years old, fresh, and they'll have one bump on his bump card. Ronda got several bumps on her bump, so it's just a different world, more so than anything.
But and for the MMA people, what a lot of people don't think is, they fight once, twice, maybe 3 times a year. If you're Tony Ferguson or somebody like that, or Donald Cerrone, who would fight all the time. But also think about all those training camps, those practices, rolling around. I actually think there's probably more injuries that happen in training camps than happen in the octagon.
It is, and those guys are trained to go out there and maim and do whatever they got to do to you to win.
Yeah.
It's not it's not like professional wrestling at all. Those guys' injuries pound up, I think, much quicker than ours, even though I was pound up over a longer period of time. So it's just so many pros and cons when you talk about that. But I do appreciate Seth Rollins staying directly in character and saying exactly what he needs to say in that moment.
We're gonna go long on this segment, obviously, but we have a bunch of more super chats. This is from John JID. 999, multiple game changers / legend AEW signees have been shown not to make impacts. These new people have to buck that trend and give us a reason to tune in, referring to, I think, Okada and Ospreay and Monet. I'm assuming that's who he's referring to.
The only person that I've seen over there that made me jump lately is the bounty hunter Brian Keith. That kid, I don't know where he comes from.
Where did he train, Book?
I don't know where he trained. But that kid, the bounty hunter, Brian Keith, he definitely got my attention. He does those little bitty things, before and after that we talked about in reality wrestling so many times. But I agree. I agree 100%. It's not going to be the fan that make the wrestler. The wrestler is going to have to make himself, as far as getting those fans to get behind him. I talk about this all the time. I was just talking about this, a couple of weeks ago. You got to go out there and you got to do something to make those fans want to believe in you, want to, be a part of what you bring to the table. That's the part of wrestling I think a lot of wrestlers don't think about more so than they used to back in the day, because it was all about psychology. It was all about trying to get those fans to, cheer for you. If you're the baby face, you want to be the best baby face you can possibly be. If you're the heel, you want to be the best heel that you possibly could be. It wasn't no in between. So now it's a little cloudy as far as guys knowing why they're out there doing this.
This one comes from Shane O. As important as they are to NXT, would love to see Trick and Mello's story seep into the main roster TV and culminate with a match at WrestleMania. Shucky ducky, guys.
Yeah, most definitely. Trick Mello, those guys on their way up, man. Mello, he's been grinding, for the last couple of years, trying to really, really hone his craft, to get to that point. Trick, he just pretty much just got dropped in the game, and it's almost that meteoric rise, you know what I mean? Boom, star like overnight, success like type of deal. And he's doing a hell of a job. He's holding his own. It's gonna always fall back on the training. That's why I like, being there, for Trick's rise, trying to, get in his ear and telling, how good he is more than anything. I talk about that kind of stuff. I can't do a whole lot more than motivate these guys, to feel like they are the best of. They can pretty much do anything, and to see it happening right before my very eyes, I definitely see those guys, both of those guys, doing something at WrestleMania next year.
Yeah, not this year.
Yeah.
This comes from Eddie Kane, Maine. I believe Eddie used to call into the radio show when we were over there in the studio. I'm glad you're doing better health-wise, Book. How are you feeling, Booker?
I wish I could take the jacket off right now, but I wanted to put this jacket on today just because I felt business. Actually, I just came from a meeting. But no, man, I'm feeling good. Good. I'll be back in a couple of weeks to NXT. I can't wait to get back, man. Just sitting on the sideline, it's no fun, especially sitting on the sideline. Like I say, this weekend, it was just not a good weekend for me. I just want everybody. It's just was a good weekend for me, but no, I cannot wait to get back to work just so I can, keep doing what I do, man. Having fun, living life.
Callie Toenail says, stop hating on BT, especially you. I like you right now until fans just become someone tell a story. Don't make it 100. Don't believe everything you read, half the stuff you see, and a portion of what you're told. Research. That comes from Callie Toenail.
I think that'll be smart to do. Research. I don't think it's nothing really, research. It's just something that I want to get behind me more than anything. And if it's something that I need to do myself personally to make anybody feel safe under my Reality of Wrestling's, banner, they need to talk to me and let me know so it can get done like ASAP, because we didn't slip on a banana peel and get this far, by, me thinking that I know everything. I've had so many people around me that have guided me in, in that right direction to try to make sure we get here the way we have. And we're doing so many great things right now at Reality of Wrestling. Right now, Reality of Wrestling is at its peak. We are doing the best work that we have ever done with our business, as well as young people coming in there and trying to get them to the place that they want to go.
Yeah, absolutely. This comes from Marcus Craig. What do you think of Deonna Purrazzo? New signing over there at AEW. Was Impact TNA for a while.
I saw her. She was doing some stuff with Tony Storm, old friends, and now bitter enemies. Yeah, I like that. Purrazzo is she's that girl next door that can go out and perform at a very, very high level. I think, you look at her and you say, man, I can go out and, take her from pillar to post. And then you get in the ring with her and then you go, oh man, she's pretty good. It's one of those type of deals. She didn't build her name out there, by slipping on a banana peel or anything like that. Purrazzo, she cut her teeth over there in TNA, Impact Wrestling, being, hitting the ropes, working, and got a shot. Now she's making the best of it. Congratulations.
Yeah, man. Yeah, shout out to Deonna Purrazzo. I've seen her wrestle a few times, and definitely a talent, man. Big talent.
Yeah.
Great. Lot of talent there. Ken Lewis says, love the show. I only got one question. Who do we have to speak with to get you to walk Trick to the ring in Philly for Stand and Deliver?
It ain't
You
gonna
got to
happen.
remain impartial here, Book. You got to remain
The
impartial.
thing is, it ain't gonna happen, man. It ain't gonna happen because I want to see Trick go to the top, you know. But I don't want to be one of those guys that looking like as a hanger on or anything like that. I want to see Trick do it, and I want to see him do it by himself. I want this kid to have that ultimate confidence to be able to go out there and work with anybody in the world and do it do it himself, all on his own merit. I want to be the guy in his ear, though. I want to be the guy in Trick Williams and Carmelo's ear. I want to be the guy in Dragunov's ear. You know what I mean? All of their ears, man. Off the screen, you know what I mean? So it's about these guys making it to that next level, man. That's why every time I see Dragunov, give him a big hug, man. We give each other like the strongest hug, because I tell that kid every time I see him, I say, "You one of a kind, man." No, we got to take a break. Do we got to take a break?
No, we just need to keep running. We'll keep rolling.
I told Dragunov, I say, man, you're the best, man. I say, every time you work with somebody, they have their best match. I say that's uncanny. That's something, that, most people don't have. I say, man, you're, unique, you're special, so for me, that's what I do, man. I want to see all of those guys make it to that next level.
Let's see. Our next one comes from Loso Dolo, channel member. What up, Loso? He says, when will you be back on commentary?
Yeah. Like I say, I'll be back in a couple of weeks. I know the show is tomorrow, and I think they're going to be doing a double show because Perth is coming up. So that's going to give me an extra week to heal and come back 100% die. But I feel good right now, man. I'm up and around. I'm working. I got my first, couple of workouts in. So I'm good, man. I'm good. I can't wait to get back. I can't wait. But I don't want to rush it or anything either. I'm actually having fun because there again, we're going to be making a huge announcement within the next couple of days. A press release is going to go out. Something that we're doing at Reality of Wrestling that we're going to want the whole nation to be able to participate in because it's going to be cash, money, and prizes on the line.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yes. So, guys, I've been, working. I've done so much work since I've been off these few days. And so stay tuned. Next couple of days, a big press release is going to be going out, and we're going to be searching for some major, talent. Let's just put it that way. And you know what? You know what? You guys just listening. You guys just watching. You could be one.
Hey, man. Look. I might be one. I know you're talking. I might be one. All right. Look. But I'm glad. You was asking about your commentary. I'm glad that you're feeling better. I mean, just a couple follow-ups on that. Do you have to do any rehab? I know you don't want to go into your the details of your procedure. Is there any rehab you had to do? And
no rehab. Go ahead.
When are you cleared to fly?
In like 2 weeks.
2 more weeks?
limit. No, 2 weeks.
Okay.
So it's another week.
Another week.
So I'm good to go. I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready to go. The rehab is going to be me getting back in the gym, hanging in the zone, man, slinging that iron like I love doing so much. I hate haven't been able to work out like I want to, but I've been cheating a little bit. I still been getting in there, hitting the biceps a little bit, doing a few crossovers, whatnot. But I can't wait to actually get the legs back in play.
Yeah. Let's see. Here we go. The next one here is from Brooklyn Brian, who says AEW big business 313 Mercedes Moné, the CEO.
Oh, I mean, enough said right there, man. Enough said, big business Moné. And the thing is, oh man, people are crazy, man. I don't. Can you think of the one negative thing I said about Moné? What was it? What did I say? If you can think of it. What was it? The negative thing. What did I say about Moné? You can't think of it. That's what it is.
Give me a second. I don't know.
No, I'm telling you right now, it's nothing you can't think of. But people always have said, I've heard people say how I've talked about Mercedes Moné and Naomi in the past, and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, Naomi, when I see her, we give hugs. If I see Moné, we give hugs. I'll give constructive criticism on certain things, but I don't think I have tried to disparage anyone or anything like that. And for Moné to be in this spot right now, making Moné with AEW is a place that I said Monet probably was going to end up if she didn't come back to WWE. I don't know. Maybe maybe I could be getting old and don't remember if I said that or not. I think that's what I said. But and I say this too. I say when it's a check to be gotten, you're gonna go pick it up. That's what we do. Monet is talent. She's talent, and I'm sure she's getting a high rate over at the Hotel AEW.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure
You know
she's getting
so more
deal.
power to her, man. She deserves it.
Any money she can get, she deserves it. Absolutely. Big money.
Everybody out there getting money. If they getting it, they big ups. More power to them.
I feel you, dog. This is from Big Breezo. When you were wrestling, was there a wrestler who surprised you in the ring?
Matt Hardy. Because I was like, man, there's no way this guy could work. No, because Matt used to run so funny, and I was like, man, this guy, man, why this guy think he's so over? And I was thinking that it was we had to work at a house show, and man, we wasn't 3 minutes into that match, and everybody in the arena was going crazy. And then I go, oh, this is why this guy's so good. I was like, oh, now I realize why he's so good. But he knew how to work the people, man. He knew how to get that crowd going, man. He had so much fire. And I was like, okay, now I know,
Now I get it.
I'm serious. I was quick, I was like, I'm sure I want to work with this guy every week now. It was one of those type of deals. So Matt Hardy probably would be the guy that surprised me the most. Being such a great worker, and I didn't think he was a great worker, outside looking in. Until I got in the ring with him, I didn't realize, how good this guy really was.
Hey, man, I think he told that story one. Matt may have told that on his show. I think maybe.
Oh yeah,
something like
true,
that.
That's true story, man. I mean, I was like, man, this guy, like, you walk, you got those bow legs, and his feet are like out. But once he get in the ring, all of that seems to go away.
Hey, man, the bell rings, brother.
It's like Superman, and man, I remember that night, man. He had those people going nuts, man. Hardy, and I was like, okay, man, I see why this guy is so good. So yeah, man, Matt Hardy.
Matt Hardy, man. V1. Our next one here comes from Eric Lamar. I think Melo should be built up similar to how MVP was brought up when he debuted. Also, a big fan of the row. Any chance Ilya, Dijak, or Oba shows up?
That's my plan as far as the last point. First, I definitely want to see one of those guys come to Reality Wrestling before they go to the main roster, just because I'm only working with guys that's in NXT. And definitely Melo definitely got to be one of the guys to show up as well, along with Dijak, along with Oba, so as well as Ilya. But we definitely plan on getting those guys down there and doing something big. Can't wait. Might be even sooner than you think.
This comes from 3 Diglets. CM Punk should be the last person talking about. CM Punk should be the last person talking about punching people in the face.
see that he tried to get
He
tried to get somebody like, to write something about me again. I'm trying to stay away from that, man. CM Punk doing his job. He's an analyst. He's supposed to,
And you know what? Yeah. I think he said that well knowing what he was doing. I'll just say that. I think that he was playing into something. At least that's what I feel. In music,
what you said he was going into business for himself?
No. Oh, don't put words in my mouth. Don't put words in my mouth, Booker T. Don't do that. You don't do that. Hey, come on, man.
I got you.
It comes from In Music. Attended my first row event. Was in town from Nevada Saturday. Brad looking dapper in his suit, and I had good seats. Enjoyed the action. All I can say, Will All Day versus Matty Ice. Keep doing what you're doing. I got to meet In Music in person, actually.
Hey, man. And that was all the way from Nevada?
Nevada.
And we appreciate you coming down and being a part of the row, man. Appreciate all the support that Reality of Wrestling get from all of our fans that give us the opportunity to perform in front of them on a monthly basis, and the crowd's only getting bigger and bigger. Like I say, Reality Wrestling Last Stand going down March 9th. Ticket sales are up right now. Go to realitywrestling.com. Seats are going like hotcakes. We're already almost sold out already. Maven, former WWE superstar, will be participating in the Last Stand Rumble, as well as many, many more. So, guys, get your tickets. Get them now. It's going to be an awesome, awesome show. Can't wait for all of you guys to have that experience with Reality Wrestling.
Okay, we got 2 more, then we're going to cut it off. This comes from 3 Diglets again. Book, you know any good referee schools for pro wrestling here in New Jersey? I accomplished everything in my life. It's time to put on the stripes. Oh, yeah, man.
Man, I don't know about referee schools in Jersey, but I do know, I think Bubba got a school up that way.
In Jersey?
I don't know if it's New York, Jersey, Philly. I know it's somewhere in, around that area. You might want to, get with someone like Bubba, if you can DM or something and ask him a question like that. He's a lot more closer to that world than I am, or someone like Diva, and he may even know, where you might want to go as far as that goes.
So there's
I know
Monster Factory.
yeah, that's what I was just going to say. I know the Monster Factory is up
In
that
Jersey.
way, and I'm sure they are, looking for guys like that as well.
Yeah, definitely check out Monster Factory. Eric Lamar, last one of the show. Would love to see Hammerstone, Jacob Fatu, and Promise Braxton in NXT. Also, Book, who's one of the guys in NXT you think should get more credit?
Man, who in NXT should get more credit? That's very, very simple, man. It's a very, very simple one for me, man. That's JC Jane, the rock star, baby. Hit me with your best shot. Yeah, JC Jane, man. I really like JC Jane just because Toxic Attraction was good when she was doing that. But now being on her own, she's, had to morph into, whatever's out there. And sometimes you get put in those positions where it may be very, very uncomfortable for you, but then you figure it out. You figure it out. And I've had a really, really great time working with JC and her finding herself in these situations. And I go, come on, let's just try this. Let's do this. And, and now the role that she's playing is such an awesome role on a weekly basis. And I just want to see JC get a little bit more shine than she's getting. But I tell her, I say, you like the player's coach. You know what I mean? I said, you can do it all. I mean, we take you away and you go to the main roster, we might be, totally confused here. So, it's one of those type of things. So JC Jane, she would be my pick.
All right. Well, that does it. That does it for all the super chats. We appreciate y'all.
Boom,
And
man.
we had them all coming in today.
Hey, man, that's the way it go here inside the Hall of Fame. And one thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame. Getting your champagne wishes, caviar dreams. Want to thank you, Brad, for all the heavy lifting as always. And we know we got to get up out of here, but we're gonna be doing this thing again in a couple of days, guys. Let's love each other, both hating each other and trying to bring each other down. Peace. We out. We love you. Boom.